again, our goal for the weekend is to win a series. Trying not to ask our guys to do something too monumental, like sweeps are very difficult, and we don't need to do that to get back in the race. We just need to play good baseball and keep winning series in the Big 12. So it's West Virginia's always a difficult opponent offensively. They put a lot of pressure on you. There's some preparation involved, more so than any other opponent. But look forward to the challenge, and also look forward to playing at home again. And looks like we got great weather for Saturday and Sunday, and there is a distinct home field advantage that you can feel at Taunton. I know it's a little chilly this weekend, but there's the opponents are uncomfortable playing here. I don't know if because they play the music so loud. I have no idea, but it's good to play at home. Our guys love it, and we're glad we're home again this week.
Cole, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. Hope everything is going well in your world. I was just curious how Cam Willman was doing. I know you said after the game on Sunday that he had to be scratched. Can you kind of give an update on Cam?
Yeah, Cam's got he's got a knot under his scapula, one of his scaps, his throwing arm, and it's really just muscle spasms, and it's his top hand and hitting, it's his throwing arm. So every time you have that arm action, it flares up. Played 2 games with it, and then on Sunday was just too sore, couldn't even go through our pregame. But it's been treated. The rehab has been good, and yeah, I mean it's good not to have this the Tuesday, Wednesday games for guys like Cam to get on the mend. So he'll be used in some capacity, I would imagine, this weekend.
And then West Virginia came into the season with some pretty high expectations. I believe they're under 500 right now at the moment. How do you approach them this weekend?
They're difficult, like I said. They got some good arms, a really good kid. Wolf's throwing very well for them. They're just athletic, and they put pressure on you. So you got to be able to slow the little spurts. That they coach on momentum, and they try to keep it for as long as they can, and they push the action on you. So you got to be able to slow that down and minimize the big inning with these guys. They play for the big inning, but as well a coached team in the Big 12.
And then your pitching has really, especially in the bullpen, you're starting to solidify some roles out there. How nice is it to know that you have guys like Tyler Ekberg and Casey Ford that can not only shut things down in the late part of the game, but also go multiple innings?
It's just a nice security blanket, that's for sure. I mean, look what those guys did this weekend. We used them twice, back-to-back days. Over 13 innings. I think Oklahoma hit 116 versus our bullpen, which crazy numbers. They were leading the league in hitting before the weekend. It's nice to have those guys. They're dependable. And then at the end all, a quality start is not the end all be all when you have that backup.
And then last question for me, we've obviously this season talked a lot about Nick Goodwin in the early part and Dylan Phillips recently. But one guy we haven't talked a lot about is Zach Kokoska. I was wondering if you could kind of speak on his performance so far this season.
He's been dependable. He's been pretty consistent. Power, average, doesn't strike out, does the same thing in conference. It's just not midweek opponents that he's doing it, and he's effective against. So, he's been a main staple here for 3 years, and with the more success you have, the more of a target you are as far as the opponent game planning you, and he's adjusted every step of the way. He's been awesome. That middle of the lineup has been awesome and dependable. Him and Phillips are tough back to back.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah. Thanks, Cole.
Adam, go ahead.
Coach, overall, after the series win over Oklahoma, 21-15 on season, 4-8 in conference play, how would you say this team just feels overall now?
It was a big weekend for us. It was a big week. We played at home and got settled in and started playing good baseball, good defense. You win in league, you win a tight game. You're back in the thick of things in the Big 12. Our guys, they're pretty even keel, whether things are going great or not so great. And that's the key to it. They stay on their preparation, they stay focused, but there's nothing like winning to get you going. And like I said, our guys know the time is now to go on a run, and I think we feel pretty good about doing that. So we got to take advantage of playing home again this weekend.
Wicks provided good comfort in game 1, and then in game 3, you limited Oklahoma to only 3 runs. You had good pitching overall, but you also had really solid hitting later in the game that helped you win the game. How nice was it to go along with the solid pitching and starting pitching to also have the nice hitting to get a nice complete win?
Yeah, it was good. At 1 through 9, we got the back end of our order did a really good job of getting on base and turning that lineup around, and getting on base for Phillips and Kokoska and those guys. But I thought we did a really good job with our plate discipline and working counts. They got them into a situation where in game 3 they ran out of pitching. So that goes along with pretty good offensive attack scheme and discipline to get into a bullpen on game 3 where it's down the line and somewhat depleted.
Continuing into the forward for the remainder of the regular season, and how much would you say the team's success will depend on how strong the starting pitching is?
Yeah, we gotta everything hinges on that. Like I said earlier, though, we got some dependability in our bullpen with Ekberg and Ford and Torres. But yeah, you get a good start, life's easier. You don't have to go in that bullpen too early, and just you can get your offense going and get settled in a game. But yeah, we got to overall we got to get better at starting pitching. The last couple of weeks hasn't been great, but those guys are talented enough and have had success where they'll figure it out. I'm pretty confident in that.
Last question here for you. How much of an impact would you say Wicks has on the rest of the starting pitching rotation?
Yeah, he's one of the best guys in the league, one of the best guys in the country. Not just result wise, but his work ethic and his preparation and his team first mentality is a great role model for every pitcher on that staff, every player in our dugout, especially our younger pitchers.
Kurtz.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Hughes, I wanted to ask about, there are a lot of guys that did great things for you this weekend, but maybe an unsung hero and Blake Burrows with what he was doing at the bottom of the lineup, taking walks, and then obviously the big hit on Sunday.
He was awesome, man. He hasn't played at all this year, other than pinch running and a defensive replacement. He's everyone's favorite teammate. He's locked in whether he's in the lineup or not. That kind of mindset puts you in position to have success when you get your name called. And Blake was great, man. He saw a lot of pitches. He's really tough to throw to. It's a really small strike zone when he's up there, and he can put pressure on a defense with that bunt game. He pulls the infield in, and his defense is unbelievable, gap to gap. That kid can fly and covers a lot of ground. So some of the things that he does, it doesn't show up in the box score. And then he gets the big 2-out hit. It's a great weekend for him, and I know he was excited to contribute, but I know his teammates were even more excited for Blake to have success because he's a great teammate and a great worker.
And as far as key moments go, in the series, how big was the fact that Connor was able to just grind through what he did and not give up more in the game on Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, hey, the biggest play of the whole game on Sunday was, the ground ball double play he induced with the bases loaded and 1 out. He threw over 30 pitches in the first inning. You're not going to feel great, never, as a starting pitcher, 100%. And he was not feeling good. His stuff wasn't very good on Sunday, and he grinded 4 innings for us, but made some pitches when he had to. But that game that game turned when we got that ground ball double play. It could have been a 5-run inning real quick. And I always say when you're in Big 12 play, there's always that 1 or 2 innings that you have to damage control to dictate where the game's going to go. And it just so happened it happened in the first inning. That was the biggest play of the game right there. And yeah, Connor's a grinder, man. He's going to try to figure it out, whether he has his good stuff or if he doesn't.
I know it's been a couple of tough starts back to back for Carson. Just where do you feel like he's at right now headed into this weekend?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's at a crossroads, but he's just got to remember he's a talented kid. You don't want him to lose confidence. He wants to win so badly. He wants to perform so badly for his teammates that he puts a lot of pressure on himself. Carson just needs to relax and remember that he's a very talented kid, and his work ethic his preparation has already been done. So he just needs to go out and execute and have fun on game day. And you just got to be able to throw strike one. He's behind in too many counts. This league's too good to be behind in counts, the majority of the time. I'm not sure how many back-to-back strikes he threw on Sunday, but on Saturday, sorry. But, he's got to get some back into advantage counts and let his stuff play. He's a great kid, great worker. He'll figure it out.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thanks.
All right, Kurtzy.
Kelsey's your question.
Coach, you talk about Nick Goodwin and just kind of him jumping in from senior year or without a senior year. Talk about just his performance this year, what you've seen.
Yeah, it's so difficult, especially this year in college baseball with that added COVID year, for a true freshman to come in and have an impact. There's probably 3 guys in the league, maybe a handful more, I don't know. Probably I can only think about 3 or 4 guys in our league that are having the type of impact on their team and their lineup than as Nick's having with ours. It's just it doesn't happen this year, and he's doing it. So that speaks volumes of his skill level. But also, there's a lot of true freshmen that come into programs that are good enough, or we wouldn't have recruited them. But it takes them. There's an adjustment period for these guys to get settled in the Big 12 level of college baseball, and there was no adjustment period for Nick. He was good to go right when he walked on campus in our live stuff, in our scrimmages versus our arms. The speed of the game was never too fast for him, and very rarely do I see that with a positional player.
And after this last series, you talked about Ceballos being a little bit banged up and Kaplinger stepping in for him. Where does Ceballos kind of stand with that injury?
Yeah, he's been banged up a little bit, for most of the year. He's never felt 100% this year, so I give Chris a lot of credit. He's a tough kid, and he's going to take it to the limit. And it's been really nice to have Dylan Kaplinger, make strides as a player where he can spell Ceballos where he really needs it. The less time we can catch Chris, the better hitter he's going to be for us right now. So. We're heading down the home stretch. We're going to be real careful with the balance of his playing time, catching wise, so he can make the strides and be the hitter that we think he is in our lineup and that he's proven to be. But it's all predicated on making the kid just not catching him every day. He's got to have some energy, and he's got to have some. He just gets worn out behind the plate, especially at this stage of the game. So we got to be careful.